Good morning. We have a quorum. It's 9 o'clock. We'll call the Bylaw Committee to order. First up is to approve the minutes that Kyle sent out of December 17th and January 21.
Make a motion to approve both.
I'll second it.
Any corrections, comments? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
There's a few minutes that I don't think we've approved yet from 2024. It's the April, July, August, and September minutes.
Okay, I
I
had
have-
September 17th now.
You have,
Yeah.
okay, I couldn't find the file in the, on the flash drive that Mike gave me. Do you have a digital copy of those, or?
I will look and see.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't find it. Anyway, so it's April, July, and August of 2024, which I can send. I have the files. I don't think we've approved them though.
That was sent out a while ago, but I don't know when it was sent out.
The September one?
No, the April 16th, 2024.
Yeah, they were sent out, and I think that I was just
Never
looking
voted
through
on
the
it?
old minutes. I don't think we
Okay.
approved it.
Okay. I'll get them out if I can find them, and we'll take care of it next meeting.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thanks for being on top of it.
Of course.
Yes. See, we still have our 4 priority bylaws. Now, before we get into too much looking at the bylaws and stuff, like we've been meeting now for a few years. I'd like to set a goal for us that by the annual town meeting of next year, this committee is complete, doing whatever we gotta do, if not before.
26.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to do it by the end of the year. I think we could do it, but that's because the fall town meeting is gonna be in November, that only gives us with the summer, and we probably skip a lot of the meetings in the summer. I don't think we'd make the fall town meeting to have everything we need to get done complete. But if we set a year from the annual town meeting of 2026, I think that's a reasonable time to finish up whatever we gotta do and be done. Otherwise, we're gonna just be meeting forever, and for those of us that have been on it for...
Ever.
Yes. I mean, we started this, I think, just in the beginning or just before the pandemic hit. I don't remember exactly when we started, but it's been about 4 years now. Something, well, actually, just after the pandemic started, I think, when it was just, I wouldn't say winding down, but kind of the vaccines and stuff came out. But anyways, it's been a while. So, that sound reasonable to everybody?
Sure.
Okay. Back to our priority bylaws. Large venues. I forgot who was working on that.
I don't know. The last thing I remember about that was that we were hoping to get some kind of noise numbers from the last big event at the Young Men's Club, but that I think was a bust because the weather was terrible.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't know how that went, so I don't think Mike got anything for that. I think that's what we were kind of waiting on, to come to some conclusions about that particular bylaw.
And what are you looking for? Statistics, is that right?
Well, what we were looking for was an idea of what kind of noise those concerts put out. So I think we were talking about putting some kind of a limit in the bylaw.
A decibel,
That's
like
a
Yeah.
little-
Decibel rating,
yeah.
Right, that's generally what you need.
You know, but because you're looking for, like, at Tim's house, depending on the wind and the climate is really what it comes down to. Because there have been times when they've had the concerts or the stuff over there, and I'm, almost a mile south. And you can hear them like they were next door, and other times you
Newton
couldn't
Lane,
hear
same thing.
anything.
Newton Lane.
And Tim, where he is frequently can hear it. So we're trying to we want to put something together that is reasonable, if you would, or I wouldn't say so much accurate, but at least some from experience what it might be.
a standard.
And of course, last year, like you said, wasn't anything held because of the weather. I don't know what the plan is for this year.
I haven't heard anything come before the select board as of yet for
And they've got
permits.
there's a kind of a newer hierarchy in there, for lack of a better term, and we don't know what their plans are. I mean, depending who's in there, kind of depends what goes on. It seems like the newer, the later crew that's in there seems to be more trying to accommodate, at least it seems that way, to the neighbors and everything else to the town. It just may be that there's not the interest in it. We don't know. That, you know, I don't know if there's anybody that's on the club. So we're just waiting. All right, farm animals.
That's me. I have not completed my task as to coming up with a proposed bylaw. I've been doing some homework
With the chickens?
with the chickens, yeah.
Okay.
I've been talking to the chickens to see what. But anyhow, I hope to have it by next meeting.
Okay. Safety portion of the riverfront bylaw, that's something we're kind of waiting for the
I'm okay, I'm outside.
lawsuit to be settled. And the way the courts go, that's one that may just hang out there because I have no idea where the bylaw, where the lawsuit stands, because that's kind of, I want to call it confidential between the select board or wherever. Is that the select board?
Which lawsuit are you referring to?
There's one, somebody suing, I forgot. That was something Tom kept referring to the lawsuit.
The ZBA.
So the only thing that I'm aware of was the ZBA and, what's that guy's name?
Yeah,
Down at the end of-
one over from Layton's there.
No, this,
Not the Layton's not suing anything,
No.
but there was somebody over there, like
that one I don't know, I'm not aware of.
properties over.
The other one was the guy who wanted 5 campers on his,
Right.
and that's been settled.
Oh, it has?
Yeah,
Burton?
not Burton. What's that guy's name?
Yeah, okay. Let me ask Tom about that one.
No, I think you're right. I think it's,
Was it Britain?
Britton, that's his
Mark
name.
Britton.
Yeah, Mark Britton, that's the one. So that got settled. And that really, I don't know what that had to do with any safety issues, so
Okay, I'll
I'm
ask-
not sure
See Tom.
what's going on.
And that was
Okay.
more on the numbers, or was
Yeah.
it for setbacks?
It was both.
Both.
Yeah.
Okay. Town Common, last meeting, we kind of discussed that. I put out what I had put together, and I forget where we stood on that one. I think kind of was what I had put together, but that looked halfway decent. Okay. Does anybody have any comments on the one that I put out? Do you have any on the common? Do you remember? Oh.
Let's do this, Jimmy. Let's make that a priority for next meeting.
I'll
Let's
resend
forget
for
that.
everybody in next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's try to get that taken
Yeah.
care of so that we can cross that off the list.
I know there was a whole bunch of, well, Jessica's not here, but she was working on a bunch of small changes in the various bylaws. Other people had some assignments. Anybody have updates on what they were working on for different things? I know you were working on, well, we got the grass in the streets, that was actually done and passed.
Yeah.
And the Attorney General approved it.
Oh. That's
Okay. We just got a note from Jessica, was it last week? That the Attorney General approved the stuff in the streets, but they're pending approval on I think we had not the solar bylaw is, no, accessory dwelling unit. Solar bylaw was approved. a year, almost, well, several months ago, but the accessory dwelling units,
Wasn't there something?
I'm trying to think,
somewhere
let me
there?
back up. The Attorney General approved the name changes to the senior housing district, or the definition of the senior housing district. The, I believe, the waste and street was approved, but the accessory dwelling units was not approved. Yeah, not approved, still reviewing, because they got buried basically statewide. The state changed the accessory dwelling unit definition, and I don't know how many communities in the state put bylaws through of one type or another, so they just got overcome with all of these.
And they're all slightly different.
Yeah.
And there was the.
You know, some are, you know, so they gave, I think they put a, was it a 90-day, I think they put a 90-day extension on it for, and my guess is they probably won't meet that because they have so many to look at. But, I mean, we'll have to wait and see.
Wasn't there also a statement?
Oh, the solar,
on
that was not
might
just,
be too
the
restrictive?
solar was approved, I want to say 3 town meetings ago, but it took the Attorney General, they normally have 90 days
Right.
to look at any zoning bylaw and give you a decision. On that one, they took pretty close to 9 months.
Yeah.
Because there was somebody, a company that disputed a bylaw. So then the planning board and town council and this company went back and forth several times why it should be approved, why it shouldn't be approved, yada yada. And finally the Attorney General approved the Hadley zone bylaw with 2 little minor things. And it ended up being that when he had his public hearing for his battery storage, he was turned down. And he appealed that decision, and that decision is now in appeal with the courts.
That'll be a year.
And we'll have to wait and see what happens with that.
In regards to the accessory dwelling units. so-
The accessory dwelling units, we voted at the fall town meeting.
Yeah.
And
At the state level, there's three critical issues that they're looking at. One is the utility hookup, 2 is owner occupied, and I don't recall what the third
yeah,
one was.
we took out the owner occupied.
Yeah,
We kept the utility hookup in, and
but that's back and forth.
the state, one piece of the state says what it's a great deal, is going to create all the accessory dwelling units. However, the utility hookups, and that includes water, sewer, electric, the whole bit, never, plumbing code, building code, everything else still stayed the same. And so it's not a simple, I'll just use me as an example, I've used it several times. I've got a house, and I've got a 1,000-foot shed in my backyard. It doesn't have the setback from the rear, so it could not be made an accessory dwelling unit, but it's certainly big enough. It has electricity to it, but if I wanted, let's say it had the setback. I'm missing the setback by, 15 foot? So it would have to be a residence, and I'm 25 foot short of setback. However, it would be a great dwelling unit. Take off out of the 1,000, make it say a 800 square foot, 900 square foot dwelling unit, but it doesn't meet setback. And so, but that's one little problem. But now as far as sewer and water, it would, by code, it need its own water hookup and septic. I could tie it into the septic, but I'd have to run it from there to the main house, back out to the septic system. And the septic system is big enough, but it's gotta meet, because it would be an accessory dwelling unit, now you're gonna have a certain size septic system, leach field, everything else. To convert that shed, even though it's an existing building, into an accessory dwelling unit would easily be $150,000. That's real easy, probably closer to 200 plus. So, you know,
Chickens.
people that think they're gonna, or the state that thinks they're gonna get all these floods of accessory dwelling units, it's extremely expensive.
Yeah, I think they're realistic that they're not gonna see as many. I think they're just trying to work out some of these issues
Yeah.
relative to, I
Yeah.
mean, the smallest septic system you put in now is 1,500 gallons. So can that possibly, if you have a 3-bedroom, be okay for that accessory?
Yeah.
Yes.
But it all comes back to a lot of it comes back to environmental. Septic system is based, the Title V, I believe, is based on environmental stuff.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And so if they try to make Title V, for lack of a better term, more lenient,
I don't think they're going to.
right, what does it do to the environment and stuff like that? And it starts failing. And then if it fails, what do? Some people don't have a big enough lot to put a whole new system in, so you gotta tear it up and put a new one in?
Raise.
Holy moly, you wanna talk about some expense. I mean, a brand new septic system is probably, what, $15,000 now,
More
easily?
than that,
More
Jimmy,
than that.
more than that.
Tear it up and put a new one in, you're probably double or tripling that. But anyways,
Well, the state does have a few things to work out,
You know.
so hopefully it'll all
you know,
And in the Boston.
before towns like us with the planning boards have to figure out how they're gonna handle all this
you
stuff.
know,
It's gonna-
but anyways, you know, that's just the thing with the ADU bylaw. And that was on the, like I said, we approved it, and the state had been flooded with them. So we'll have to wait and see what the outcome is. All right, we don't really have any amends for the spring town meeting, I think, that are ready to go on, unless we hit it with town comment at the next meeting, but I think it's gonna be that will not make it, because town meeting is gonna only be a couple of weeks after that, so we won't have anything for the annual town meeting. There will be on the warrant, the changing of constable from elected to appointed, because we approved it at the fall town meeting, but it's a two-pronged thing. When you change a position from elected to appointed, it has to be approved at town meeting, which overwhelmingly passed. And it'll be on the ballot to approve it on a ballot vote. I plan on going to the Mothers Club meeting when they have the candidates night
Yeah,
and explain that to the people so they understand why it is. It'll be I think you're given like, what, 3 minutes to talk or 4 minutes. I can't imagine I'll be more than a minute. If there's questions, well, we'll answer them. I don't know. Let's see.
right now the warrant is supposed to close on April 16th, I believe. If that's a Wednesday. Yeah, it is.
15, you said?
16,
16?
yeah.
Okay, there'll be a couple planning board articles on it. Nothing for the zone bylaw, or nothing from the bylaw group ready. That's all. Anybody else have anything that they want to bring up, or for next meeting topics? Be a short meeting today.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had asked, this is the last meeting, that Jessica should have like a list of all the bylaws that have been updated, because you want to set that deadline. It might be, because like for me, I'm newer, I don't know where everybody else's memories are at, but it might be useful to look at the whole list and see what hasn't been, like as a group, and see what hasn't been addressed. And
Yeah.
you know, if we could volunteer to take on assignments based off of what remains to be tackled.
I'll have her try to get that list for next time.
Yeah.
That's a good suggestion. Yeah. Okay. But do you have anything else? Okay, so for next meeting, I'll get the minutes, April, July, September. We're still missing the February, but that's easy enough. and resend out the town common bylaw. I'll see Tom about the riverfront. Note to Jess. The warrant closes, not a big deal.
Need a motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All
Your
in
favorite
favor?
thing
My
to do,
favorite
Paul.
thing.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Meeting is history. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick.